They were the elite warriors of medieval Europe, towering figures clad in gleaming steel, feared and admired in equal measure. But what was life really like for a knight in shining armor? In the brutal landscape of medieval warfare, few figures stood as tall, literally and figuratively, as the knight. Drawn almost exclusively from the nobility, knights were better fed, better trained, and often physically larger than the average peasant conscript. Years of good nutrition from childhood, regular exercise, and rigorous martial training created men who were not just soldiers, but walking war machines. A single knight could be worth dozens of footmen in the battlefield, not simply due to his strength or bravery, but because of the tools and tactics he brought to war. A knight's full-plate armor was the pinnacle of medieval craftsmanship. Forged by master smiths over weeks or even months, this armor was expensive, so costly in fact that only the wealthy could afford it. But in return, it turned a man into something very close to invincible. Contrary to popular myth, plate armor was not excessively heavy, usually around 20 to 25 kilograms, and it was cleverly balanced across the body. Knights could run, mount horses, and fight with considerable agility. The real advantage, though, was defense. Swords would glance off, arrows would struggle to penetrate, and even the mighty warhammer had to be used with precision to make a dent. Against a knight in full plate, a poorly trained, lightly equipped peasant had almost no chance. The difference in equipment, training, and physical conditioning was simply too vast. Of course, a knight's strength didn't end with his own body. His horse was every bit as formidable. Warhorses, or destriers, were bred for power and endurance. These animals were trained from a young age to tolerate noise, confusion, and pain. They had to be steady under fire, capable of charging into tight formations without flinching. Training a knight to fight from horseback was a years-long affair. Balance, timing, and coordination with the horse were critical. Lances, swords, and maces were all used in mounted combat, and the knight had to master striking from above while controlling a living, moving platform beneath him. It was a dance of steel and muscle, and one that demanded endless hours of practice. From head to toe, the knight was encased in a marvel of design. A helmet protected the skull and often featured a visor for the face. Around the neck sat a gorget, defending one of the most vulnerable areas. The torso was covered by a breastplate and backplate, and sometimes reinforced with chainmail underneath or a gambeson, a padded undercoat that added comfort and additional shock absorption. Pauldrons guarded the shoulders, vambraces protected the arms, gauntlets covered the hands. The waist and thighs were defended by tassets, and the lower legs by greaves and sabatons. Even the feet were sheathed in steel. This intricate system of plates allowed for surprisingly good mobility while shielding nearly every inch of the body from harm. Armor evolved constantly during the Middle Ages. Early knights often wore a coat of plates, overlapping metal plates sewn into fabric. A more sophisticated version, brigandine, offered improved flexibility and was popular among both knights and high-ranking infantry. Eventually, full-plate armor emerged in the 14th and 15th centuries, offering unparalleled protection. One of the most ornate forms was Maximilian armor, named after Emperor Maximilian I. It featured fluted surfaces, not just for decoration, but to deflect blows more effectively. This was the apex of personal protection before the gunpowder age made it largely obsolete. The image of the knight in shining armor has endured for centuries, and for good reason. These were men born into privilege, but forged in discipline. On the battlefield, they were titans, a fusion of flesh, steel, and skill, representing the very best and the most brutal of the medieval world.